Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right when it comes to manifestation, yet nothing seems to change? You repeat affirmations. You visualize your dream life every night. You even write in your journal, trying to script your future into existence. And yet, the job doesn't come. The relationship doesn't arrive. The money doesn't flow. Instead, life feels like it's on repeat. The same struggles, the same patterns, the same frustrations, as though the universe isn't listening. If you've ever been there, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common experiences among spiritual seekers. People begin their manifestation journey full of excitement and hope, only to hit a wall of disappointment. And when that happens, the mind whispers dangerous words. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe manifestation doesn't even work. But what if I told you, you're not manifesting wrong? You're manifesting blind. This is the deeper truth that most books, videos, and teachings never reveal. Because manifestation isn't just about thinking positive thoughts or repeating mantras. It's about perception. It's about awareness. It's about learning to see what's really happening beneath the surface of your mind and your energy. Imagine for a moment, two people standing in front of a doorway. One can see the handle, the hinges, the way the door opens. The other is blindfolded, reaching and guessing, hoping to stumble into the right movement. Both of them are capable of opening the door, but only one of them can do it with ease. That's the difference between manifesting with awareness and manifesting blind. The truth is you have been manifesting your entire life. Every thought, every belief, every emotional state has been shaping your reality. The frustration you feel is not because you cannot manifest. It's because you've been doing it without sight, without clarity, without the deeper understanding that reveals how creation actually works. And so this video is not here to teach you how to manifest. You already know how. Your life so far is the evidence of your manifesting power. This video is here to teach you how to see the blind spots that keep you stuck, to see the hidden patterns that quietly sabotage your desire, to see the deeper energetic truth that has always been shaping your reality. Because once you learn to see, manifestation stops being a guessing game and starts becoming deliberate creation. Think back to the times when you've wanted something so badly. You put in the effort, you held the vision, you even felt the excitement. And yet something always slipped through your fingers. It wasn't because you failed, it was because your inner sight was clouded. You were focused on the light switch, but blind to the wiring. You were planting seeds, but blind to the soil. You were steering the ship, but blind to the compass. And when you're blind to the deeper currents of your own energy, you end up drifting in circles. But here's the hopeful part. Blindness is not permanent. It's not a flaw. It's simply an unopened gift. And the moment you begin to awaken your awareness, it's like taking off the blindfold. Suddenly, you notice connections you never saw before. Synchronicities appear. Patterns reveal themselves, and the world begins to look less like a random mess, and more like a mirror of your inner state. This is the journey we're about to take together. In this video, I'll guide you step by step through the hidden blindness of manifestation, the ways you've unknowingly blocked your own flow, and most importantly, how to awaken the inner sight that turns blind manifesting into conscious creation. We'll explore the difference between surface-level manifestors and aligned creators. We'll uncover the deeper mechanics of awareness that make all the difference. And we'll look at practical ways you can shift your energy and perception starting today, because you are not powerless, you are not broken, and you are certainly not manifesting wrong. You've simply been asked to navigate life with a blindfold on. But that ends here. Right now, you stand at the threshold of two realities. One is the old self, the self that repeats patterns, doubts its own power, and tries to manifest from a place of guessing. The other is the awakened self, the self that sees clearly, moves with alignment, and creates with intention. This video is the bridge between the two. So, if you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever wondered why manifestation seems to work for others but not for you, if you've ever doubted whether you have the power to shape your reality, stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change not only the way you manifest, but the way you see reality itself. When most people begin their manifestation journey, they are handed a set of tools. Visualize your dream. Write it down, repeat affirmations, feel the emotions of already having it. And these tools do work, but only to a certain degree. For many they produce small sparks, a coincidence here, a minor breakthrough there, but then the results stop, and the same cycle of frustration begins again. Why? Because the majority of people are practicing manifestation as if it's a checklist. They're focusing on the outer techniques, while remaining blind to the inner state that fuels those techniques. It's like polishing the outside of a lamp without realizing the light bulb inside has burned out. This blindness operates on multiple levels. On the first level, there is subconscious programming. Most of us grew up absorbing beliefs from our families, society, and culture that quietly shape what we think is possible. If you grew up hearing phrases like, money is hard to come by, love never lasts, or people like us don't succeed, those ideas sink into your subconscious like invisible anchors. So even while you're consciously trying to manifest abundance or love, the hidden programming beneath the surface is pulling you in the opposite direction. It's not that the universe isn't listening. It's that you're broadcasting two conflicting signals at once. On the second level, there is emotional vibration. Many people affirm positive words while carrying a frequency of fear, lack, or desperation. Imagine telling the universe, I am abundant, while your body is tense, your chest is tight, and your mind is secretly screaming, but I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. The universe doesn't just respond to the words, it responds to the vibration behind the words, and so the results match the deeper frequency, not the surface affirmation. And then there is the third level, energetic awareness. Most people don't realize that their attention, their focus, and their daily choices are constantly directing energy. Think of attention like sunlight. Wherever you shine it, things grow. But if you're shining it unconsciously, on fear, on comparison, on doubt, then you're watering the weeds instead of the flowers. You may be visualizing a dream house for 10 minutes in the morning, but if you spend the rest of the day feeding worry, gossip, or self-criticism, the energy is scattered, and your vision remains unfueled. This is the blindness of manifestation, not being able to see the hidden forces that are quietly shaping outcomes. Let's put it in perspective. Imagine two travelers on a journey. Both of them have maps, both of them have backpacks, and both of them want to reach the same mountain peak. The first traveler moves forward blindly, taking steps with enthusiasm, but never noticing the terrain, the obstacles, or the signs along the way. They stumble, get lost, and feel discouraged. The second traveler, however, walks with awareness. They see the rocks before they trip over them. They notice the shortcuts, the streams, the places to rest, and because they can see, their journey feels smoother and more guided. Manifestation works the same way. Many people are walking blind, using the right tools but without sight. They're following steps without noticing the inner terrain of beliefs, emotions, and energy. Think about your own life for a moment. Have you ever had a desire that felt almost within reach, a job interview, a relationship, a financial opportunity, but then it slipped away at the last minute? It wasn't because you didn't deserve it. It wasn't because you were doing manifestation wrong. It was because some part of your inner landscape was unseen, unacknowledged, and therefore unaligned. One of the biggest blind spots is self-identity. If deep down, you see yourself as someone unworthy, undeserving, or unlucky, your subconscious will sabotage opportunities that contradict that identity. You might attract a chance encounter, but you won't follow up. You might be offered a promotion, but you'll hesitate and miss it. This is not because you're cursed, but because your inner identity must shift before the outer world can mirror something new. Another blind spot is attachment. When you want something so desperately that you grip onto it with fear of losing it, you're actually affirming the absence of it. The universe receives the vibration of not having and reflects that reality back to you. It's like holding water in your hand. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. And perhaps the deepest blind spot of all is forgetting that manifestation is constant. Many people treat it as an occasional practice, like something they turn on for 15 minutes in the morning. But the truth is, you are manifesting with every breath, every thought, every emotional ripple throughout the day. Life doesn't stop responding to you when you stop visualizing. Creation is continuous. When we're blind to this, we think manifestation is failing us, but in reality, it's working perfectly. It's just mirroring the parts of ourselves we're not yet aware of. This is why so many seekers feel trapped. They think, I'm doing everything they told me to do, why is it not working? And the answer lies not in doing more, but in seeing more. Because once you recognize the hidden programming, you can rewrite it. Once you notice the emotional frequency, you can shift it. Once you observe where your attention flows, you can redirect it. And suddenly, the process begins to work as it was always meant to. So in this journey, awareness is not optional, it is the foundation. Without awareness, you will always manifest blind, repeating patterns without realizing why. But with awareness, the blindfold comes off, and manifestation transforms from a game of chance into a deliberate art. And this brings us to the next step, learning how to awaken inner sight. Because awareness is not something we're born without. It's something we forget, and the moment we remember, everything begins to change. If blindness has been the silent barrier in manifestation, then awakening sight is the key that unlocks it. This is the turning point, the moment where frustration turns into clarity and guessing turns into knowing. Because when you begin to truly see, everything about manifestation changes, not because the universe suddenly starts listening, but because you finally start hearing. Awakening inner sight begins with a simple but radical truth. Reality is not something that just happens to you. It is something that responds to the way you observe it. Your awareness is not passive, it is creative. And when you shift the quality of that awareness, you shift the quality of what life reflects back to you. So how do we awaken this sight? It begins with 3 layers: self-awareness, vibrational awareness, and energetic awareness. First, self-awareness. This is the ability to look inward and see the hidden stories you've been carrying. It means observing the subtle voice that says, "I'll never be enough," or "good things don't happen to me," and recognizing it for what it is, a program, not a truth. Self-awareness is like turning on the light in a dark room. Suddenly, you see the furniture you used to trip over. You realize, this thought is not me, this is conditioning, and in that recognition, you create space to choose differently. One of the most powerful practices here is gentle observation. Instead of battling your negative thoughts, simply notice them. Watch them rise, label them for what they are, an old belief, a borrowed story, and let them pass. The more you practice this, the less power those thoughts have over you, because awareness dissolves illusion. Second, vibrational awareness. This is deeper than thought. It is the art of noticing the emotional current running beneath your surface. Ask yourself, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? You might say the words, "I am abundant," but if your body feels heavy with worry, then abundance cannot flow. Vibrational awareness means tuning into the body, into the emotions, into the subtle atmosphere of your being. Think of it like music. A radio station cannot play jazz and heavy metal at the same time. It must choose a frequency. And the universe responds the same way, not to the words you speak, but to the music you emit. When you learn to feel the difference between fear and trust, between lack and gratitude, you gain the ability to retune yourself. Here's a practice: several times a day, pause and scan your body. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? What station am I broadcasting? If you notice tension, contraction, or fear, don't judge it. Simply breathe, release, and gently guide yourself back to a frequency of trust. This small act of noticing is powerful, because you cannot shift what you cannot see. Third, energetic awareness. This is the most subtle layer, and also the most transformative. Energetic awareness is about noticing where your attention flows. Remember, attention is currency, it is fuel. Whatever you feed grows stronger. Most people unconsciously feed doubt, gossip, worry, and comparison. They spend the majority of their energy watering weeds, and then wonder why the flowers don't bloom. Awakening energetic awareness means becoming deliberate with your focus. It means catching yourself when you're spiraling into fear and asking, do I want to energize this? Do I want this thought to grow? It also means training yourself to redirect your gaze toward alignment, to the vision you're creating, to the gratitude you already have, to the possibilities unfolding around you. When you combine self-awareness, vibrational awareness, and energetic awareness, it's like peeling away the blindfold, layer by layer. You begin to see not only what you've been manifesting unconsciously, but also how to shift into conscious creation. And here is where the transformation deepens. Once awareness is awakened, manifestation is no longer about effort, it becomes about alignment. Let me illustrate with a story. Imagine a person trying to row a boat upstream. They are paddling with all their strength, sweating, straining, moving inch by inch. This is what blind manifesting feels like: exhausting, uncertain, filled with struggle. Now imagine that same person pausing, lifting their head, and realizing the river itself has a current. Instead of fighting it, they turn the boat around and allow the current to carry them. Suddenly, the effort dissolves. Movement becomes natural, effortless, guided. That current is awareness. When you awaken to it, you stop forcing and start flowing. You stop trying to push the universe, and instead you align with it. And alignment always carries you faster and farther than struggle ever could. But how do you cultivate this state in daily life? It begins with small, deliberate practices. Mindful presence. Spend 5 minutes simply observing your breath, your sensations, your surroundings. This trains the muscle of awareness. Emotional recalibration. When you feel low, don't deny it. Feel it fully, then choose to shift gently, through gratitude, movement, or a different perspective. Attention hygiene. Notice where your focus goes throughout the day. Each time you catch yourself feeding fear or doubt, redirect it like sunlight onto the garden you want to grow. Synchronicity journaling. Keep track of the little signs, the coincidences, the alignments you notice. This strengthens your trust that awareness reveals a guided path. Through these practices, the blindfold weakens, and the more you see, the more you realize. Manifestation is not about control, it's about resonance. When you are blind, you try to control reality, to bend it by force. When you awaken sight, you realize reality is already responding, instantly, precisely, faithfully, to the state you are being. And so the work is no longer to demand from life, but to become the version of yourself who naturally attracts what you desire. This is the great paradox. The more you awaken awareness, the less you chase outcomes, and the more outcomes flow to you. Because awareness brings you into harmony with the creative rhythm of the universe. So here's the invitation. Stop asking, what do I need to do to manifest this? And start asking, who am I being as I manifest? Are you being the blind traveler, stumbling in the dark? Or are you being the awakened creator, walking with clarity and vision? The moment you choose awareness, you step into the second path, and that path leads directly into alignment, the way of living as a conscious creator, where life itself becomes your partner, your mirror, your guide. We began this journey with a question that haunts so many seekers: why does manifestation feel like it isn't working for me? And along the way we discovered that the problem was never that you were manifesting wrong. The truth is, you were manifesting blind. You see, manifestation is not a switch you turn on and off. It is the constant dance between your inner state and the outer reality. And when you couldn't see the subconscious beliefs, the emotional vibrations, the scattered attention that shaped your results, it felt as if the universe was silent. But the silence was never rejection. It was reflection. The blindness we spoke of was never a flaw, never a punishment. It was simply an unopened doorway. And now, you've learned to open it. You've discovered the layers of inner sight, self-awareness, vibrational awareness, energetic awareness. You've seen how alignment transforms effort into flow, how living as your future self today collapses the gap between who you are and who you are becoming. So now, the question is no longer, does manifestation work? You already know it does. The question is, am I willing to see clearly? Am I willing to live in alignment? Because right now you stand at the threshold of two realities. One is the old reality, the life of repetition, of stumbling in circles, of chasing outcomes with fear and doubt. The other is the awakened reality, the life of clarity, synchronicity, and deliberate creation. The choice is not made once in a lifetime. It is made moment by moment. Each thought you allow, each emotion you nurture, each action you take is a vote for one of these realities. And with every vote, you strengthen the timeline you are stepping into. So let me remind you, you are not powerless. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are a creator, a being of awareness, alignment, and infinite possibility. When you choose to see, the blindfold falls away. When you choose alignment, the path reveals itself. And when you live as a conscious creator, life itself rises to meet you, not as an enemy, to conquer, but as a mirror of your awakened state. The journey does not end here. In many ways, it is just beginning, but you now carry a different map, a different compass, a different way of moving through the world. You no longer need to stumble in the dark. You have sight. You have clarity. You have the knowing that manifestation has always been working, and now, it will work for you, not against you. So as we close, take a deep breath, and let this truth settle into your heart. You are not manifesting wrong. You are manifesting blind. But today you have chosen to see, and once you have seen, you cannot go back. You can only move forward, into the life that has been waiting for you all along. Awareness is the doorway, but alignment is the path you walk once that doorway is open. When you awaken inner sight, you begin to see clearly, but seeing alone is not enough. You must also live in harmony with what you now see. That is alignment, the art of walking through life as if every step is a deliberate choice, every moment is a chance to embody your highest self. So what does alignment really mean? Alignment is when your thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy are moving in the same direction. It's the difference between scattering your focus into 100 worries versus channeling it into a single stream of intention. Imagine a magnifying glass, catching sunlight. When the rays are scattered, nothing happens, but when they're aligned, they create fire. That fire is the power of manifestation in alignment. Most people are misaligned, not because they lack effort, but because their inner world is divided. Their mind says one thing, their emotions feel another, and their actions contradict both. They affirm abundance, but live in constant fear of bills. They visualize love, but hold resentment toward themselves. They desire freedom, but chain themselves to old habits. The path of alignment is about resolving these inner contradictions. It's about choosing to live as the version of yourself who already embodies the reality you desire. Let's explore what this looks like in practice. 1. Conscious choice making. Every day life offers you choices, small and large. Do you hit snooze, or wake up with intention? Do you spend your evening numbing out, or do you invest it in growth? These choices may seem minor, but each one is a vote for the reality you're creating. Alignment means asking, is this choice in harmony with the future I'm manifesting, or is it pulling me back into the old self? When you start making choices from your vision, rather than from your fear, you shift timelines. You literally change the trajectory of your life with each aligned decision. 2. Energy hygiene. Just like you brush your teeth or shower daily, your energy also requires cleansing. Throughout the day, you pick up vibrations, stress from work, negativity from conversations, fear from media. If you don't release these, they cloud your vibration and pull you out of alignment. Energy hygiene can be simple. Spend a few minutes in silence before bed, releasing the day. Visualize light washing over you, clearing away residue, or take a walk in nature, letting the earth recalibrate your frequency. These small rituals keep your field clear, so your manifestation signal remains strong and undistorted. 3. Embodying your future self. Perhaps the most powerful practice of alignment is to ask, how would the version of me who already has this reality think, feel, and act? Then live as that version now. If you're manifesting abundance, embody the energy of generosity and gratitude today. If you're manifesting love, embody self-acceptance and openness today. If you're manifesting freedom, embody courage and trust today. This doesn't mean pretending or faking. It means tuning into the frequency of the future self and letting it guide your present choices. When you embody that version now, the outer reality has no choice but to catch up. 4. Course correcting with compassion. No one lives in alignment perfectly all the time. There will be days when fear creeps in, when old patterns resurface, when you fall back into blindness, and that's okay. Alignment is not about perfection, it's about return. Each time you notice yourself drifting, gently guide yourself back. Don't punish yourself. Don't spiral into guilt. Simply say, I see, I was out of alignment, now I choose again. This act of compassionate course correction is itself a form of mastery. It proves that you are no longer blind, because the very act of noticing means your awareness is awake. 5. Trusting the rhythm of life. Alignment also means surrender. It means understanding that manifestation is not about forcing your will onto the universe, but about dancing with its rhythm. Sometimes, what you desire comes quickly. Other times, it takes detours and delays. But alignment allows you to trust that every moment is purposeful. Every delay is a preparation. Every obstacle is a teacher. Trust is what turns waiting into gestation, rather than frustration. Just as a seed takes time to sprout, your manifestations require seasons. Alignment keeps you steady through those seasons, holding faith in the unseen while living fully in the present. Now imagine for a moment what life feels like when lived in alignment. Instead of waking up anxious, you rise with clarity. Instead of being tossed around by circumstances, you move through them with grounded presence. Instead of chasing desires with desperation, you attract them with ease. Life feels less like a battle and more like a flow, not because challenges vanish, but because you meet them with sight, with awareness, with the knowing that you are a conscious creator. Contrast this with the old self, the blind manifester. That self lived in doubt, repeating affirmations while secretly believing they were lies. That self gripped desire so tightly they slipped away. That self-thought manifestation was about control, about convincing the universe to give them something. The aligned self, however, understands the truth. The universe is already giving, always responding, always reflecting. Alignment is simply tuning yourself to receive what was meant for you all along. And so the path of alignment is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you already are. A creator, a mirror of the divine, a being whose thoughts, emotions, actions, and energy are shaping reality in every moment. When you walk this path, life ceases to feel random. Synchronicities multiply, opportunities appear where before there were none. Relationships blossom with more ease, even challenges transform, no longer punishments, but invitations to expand. This is what it means to live as a conscious creator, to not only manifest desires, but to embody a state of being that naturally calls them forth. And this leads us into the final step of our journey, the vision beyond blindness. Because alignment is not just about personal gain, it's about stepping into a greater reality, where your clarity and consciousness ripple outward, transforming not only your life, but also the world around you.